Have you ever scrolled through websites such as Temu or AliExpress, digging through dozens of fake designer handbags, luxury watches, and jewellery, until you stumble across something unique? It's a LEGO Star Wars set, but for a quarter of the price. A couple weeks later it arrives, and it's perfect. A one-to-one replica. You rush back online to buy more, except they're all gone. For years, LEGO had been gradually raising their prices due to inflation and production costs, resulting in many fans moving away from the hobby due to their financial situations. All they were asking for were affordable prices, and it was evident it wouldn't take much to persuade them to jump ship to another brand. Then in 2015, their prayers were answered when 4 individuals began the production of Lepin in China, a region well known as a hub for toy production. They identified an opportunity to exploit LEGO's global popularity by selling their sets at a fraction of the price. By making the plastic bricks themselves, they were able to copy each set brick by brick and sell them under the Lepin name. They started with retired sets, mainly from popular themes such as Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Technic. At the same time, several other major Chinese manufacturers each had their own areas of focus and produced other original products, resulting in widespread availability of replica LEGO sets. Lepin's sets had an extensive variety of unique pieces and colours, which required a lot of different molds. These presented significant challenges in sorting due to its complexity, resulting in a hole in the market where other manufacturers hesitated to step into production. After gathering numerous resources, they quickly gained a comfortable position in the domestic and international market for LEGO replicas. Their sets were perfectly replicated down to the smallest details, including the instruction manuals and the box art. The only difference being the infamous Lepin logo, and some humorous name changes. Star Wars became Starplan, Minecraft turned into Cube World, and Superheroes was Super Escorts? With most Chinese consumers finding LEGO far too expensive, Lepin became an overnight success in its home nation. However, it didn't take long for the Western world to find out about it. Through social media, it grew exponentially, and reviews began popping up all over YouTube and Reddit, with most buyers praising the sets for their accuracy and, of course, the prices. Products weren't difficult to find either. Platforms with simple payment methods stocked a wide variety of sets. By late 2016, they had been thrown into the spotlight and were pumping out hundreds of orders to customers all over the world. At its peak, they accounted for most of the overall sales in the entire baby and toy category on AliExpress. Despite their instant success, it was no secret that Lepin's business model and the products it produced were flawed. Although their sets were one-to-one replicas, the quality of pieces were widely reported by consumers to be only 85 to 90% of LEGO's quality. Bricks sometimes didn't fit as tight as they should have, and some instruction booklets were inaccurate and confusing. Minifigures stray even further from this percentage, with most having loose limbs and vastly different designs to their original counterparts. Besides creating replica sets, their extensive range included mock builds. These creations were published online with their instructions for fans, but were stolen by Lepin, who didn't provide any credit and claimed them as their own. Most notably, this Barnes & Noble and Starbucks store modular was created in 2013 for LEGO ideas by a well-known mock builder, yet it ended up on Lepin. The original creators of these builds didn't receive a cent from sales as they had no legal power over the situation. In the Chinese market, the popularity got to them, and they offended every other brick brand by engaging in across-the-board price suppression and started lowering the prices of identical products. There were widespread complaints among brands due to Lepin's emergence, as beforehand, if one factory is already producing a specific set, other factories tended to steer clear. Unlike other brick brands who created original sets, every Lepin replica was borderline identical, including its packaging and branding, leaving no room for any sort of legal explanation. When LEGO originally found out about Lepin, they ignored them as many other counterfeit brands pop up regularly. However, when they began to grow at an exponential rate, LEGO did what any multi-billion company would do: sue them. Except this time, despite the overwhelming evidence, it wouldn't be a straightforward process. China has always had a poor reputation for its protection of intellectual property law. With weak enforcement, there's a lack of knowledge on what's right or wrong within the general community, leading to counterfeit goods flooding the market. There has been some effort by the Chinese government to strengthen its IP protection. In 1985, its first copyright law was passed, and it has since been updated in 2001 and 2010. They've even gone as far as creating specialised IP courts, while dishing out harsher penalties for infringement. But in late 2018, after a 2-year legal battle, LEGO won their lawsuit against Lepin. The Guangzhou Intellectual Property Court ruled that the 4 defendants were found guilty on 18 cases of copyright infringement, and 1 unfair competition case. The court ordered the 4 defendants to immediately cease producing, selling, exhibiting, or in any way promoting the infringing products and pay LEGO approximately $673,000 as damages. This amount, however, was incredibly low compared to the $51 million they made while they were in business. The court's decision was based on several factors, including the degree of similarity between the 2 companies' products, the intent of Lepin to deceive consumers, and the resulting harm to LEGO's reputation and profits. The court found that their actions constituted a clear violation of intellectual property rights, and that they had engaged in unfair competition by deliberately copying LEGO's products and using similar packaging and logos. Due to LEGO's precautionary legal procedures, they didn't stand a chance, even in a country where every other business gets away with the same illegal activities. Although the court upheld this decision in early 2020, it was just the icing on the cake for their downfall. As the United Kingdom is one of LEGO's strongest markets, the company's trademarks are well protected under UK IP law. Lepin, however, attempted to register their own brand there in 2017. LEGO then applied to the UK IP office for the trademark to be invalidated. In response, the use or registration of the proprietor's mark will not cause any damage to the cancellation applicant. Funny, right? Lepin claimed their logo was acceptable, and used a monochrome image to register the trademark. In particular, the company made a comparison of the 2 terms. It argued that its name was a transliteration of the 2 Chinese characters that appear above it, happy or cheerful, and spell or peace, while the word LEGO comes from the abbreviation of the Danish expression legot, which means to play well. As expected, Lepin lost. The trademark was then cancelled in the UK, and they were fined £3,100 for their wrongdoing. Shortly after their second loss against LEGO, Lepin's fate in the toy industry was ultimately decided when the Shanghai police conducted a large-scale raid on their factory. After arresting 4 people, they dismantled 3 locations, which included production, packaging, and the warehouses, along with over 10 production lines. But it didn't stop there. They seized around 90 production molds, nearly 200,000 instruction manuals, over 280,000 packaging boxes, and more than 630,000 finished replica sets, worth over $30 million. Since they had continued to create and distribute replica sets after losing the first lawsuit, far worse punishment was imminent. This resulted in 9 individuals being arrested in late 2020 for their cooperation. The leader, Li, was sentenced to 6 years in prison and received a $12 million fine. The 8 other accomplices all received prison sentences that ranged from 3 years to 4 years and 6 months, with varying fines also being imposed accordingly. The rise and fall of Lepin sent ripples through the plastic brick industry. LEGO's multiple victories further enhanced its prestigious reputation, while China was able to showcase their improved IP protection. Despite Lepin being eliminated, their legacy lives on. The term Lepin is now used to refer to any replica LEGO set, mainly because of how recognisable the name now is to all fans, but also because of how important they were in the development of the LEGO knockoff industry. Every few months a new brand will appear, sell its replicas for a few months, disappear, and then the cycle continues. Thanks to this, the community is still strong and has been growing ever since, with the Lepin subreddit amassing over 88,000 members, with frequent posts on the latest news, builds, and deals. Until LEGO prices become somewhat affordable, the replica market will continue to thrive for years to come.